here in game number 1. And already we're seeing respect being put onto Licorice's name.
Wow, the Poppy and the Rumble being taken away, along with the Cannon being taken away from Golden Guardians. This is actually what I was expecting to be banned away from them. Things like the Jax, the Annie, the Kindred, the Nidalee, the Nautilus, all these things are sort of higher priority for me, but it seems that GG have had time to think about how they want to answer that Nautilus if it is still a priority. The struggle is going to be that flexibility. You can put it in mid, you can put it down into the support position as well, so how will they be able to manage that flexibility of the champion?
And that's the big thing as well, is that, like, you know, when the Nautilus mid coming in, it kind of fits Yagao to a T. Hard engage, get to be the front line for your team. You don't necessarily need to be a carry, and just super, super safe. I love the Viego ban coming in here from BLG. They're recognizing that River just kind of had a bit too much control in those jungle skirmishes with that pick yesterday.
That he did. Does mean, though, that the Lucian, I was just about to say the Lucian army is up and available.
You did your research.
Golden Guardian's going to look to remove that one. So the question is, what will the priority be for BLG? Yesterday we saw them first pick Nautilus, and then the game after they first picked the Nidalee, right? A very confident game plan, especially after Shun. We know how confident he is on things like the Kindred and the Nidalee, with which both are up, but instead he will be going for the Vi. Nothing that he hasn't played before, but when his comfort picks are up, it seems that they want to have that strong mid-jungle in terms of their ability to set up.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, yes, Shun is no stranger to Nidalee, did very well, but there were definitely times during yesterday's series where BLG Shun found himself just kind of in no man's land, really looking at himself going, wait, I've no priority in these lanes and I get killed? How does that happen? But goes with the Vi, very easy point and click CC with that ultimate. And now the Jinx coming in here for Stixxay, so we're starting to kind of go back to what we, you know, the desk we're talking about, that it is all about those kind of big hyper carries in the bot lane. It's just where the meta is right now. And Stixxay, he showed up yesterday.
Yeah, he certainly did. Elk yesterday had an incredible performance. The
Do it, River. Do it.
Out from River.
Yes! Do it, River. Call him
out.
That's
we
a
actually
gauntlet.
got the Kindred coming out from River. Definitely not what I was expecting. I thought we'd see something like the Wukong as an answer, something that we've been seeing a lot of in the current meta. But the Ahri lock-in for BLG, no surprise. Vi Ahri is an incredibly potent mid-jungle duo. And the Aphelios for Elk. This is something I've been very excited to see throughout playoffs. This was something that Elk often deferred to, and he is a monster on this champion.
I mean, Elk yesterday came in with a plan, because even when Yagao and Bin were not looking their greatest, Elk was still stepping up. Elk was really putting in the time and pressure to kind of make sure BLG didn't get away. You saw the stats there that Des brought up as well. Huge, massive gold difference, CS difference, even just damage per minute difference. The guy was just everywhere he needed to be and getting all of the advantages. But now with Golden Guardians, looking towards getting their mid lane locked in, they will go to the Lissandra, so good little point and click CC for themselves, and also just safety between that, you know, Vi Ahri mid lane combination.
So a little bit more utility offered. I think that makes a lot of sense. Gives you a little bit more dive threat onto the Aphelios, depending on how GG choose to round out their draft. We're looking for a little bit more frontline from Golden Guardians now. Something like Sion, maybe even an Ornn. Anything that can, like, Malphite is another big pick. Wouldn't surprise me to see BLG look to remove some of those options. But I do think this could also be a great opportunity for BLG to go for more of a carry top. When you have Vi Ahri, great ability to play through that top side of the map, and if your expectation is the Golden Guardians will look to lock in more of a tank side top, then you could look to try and punish it. So, see what BLG look to limit. The Blitzcrank being removed heavily suggests that both teams are thinking about that Thresh, and of course GG with that first pick can look to lock it in, so maybe BLG will look to ban it away. But right now their eyes on that top lane.
And something that's kind of slipped through as well is that we saw kind of very heavy presence yesterday was the Xayah Rakan. We're not going to see the Xayah being picked up in this particular matchup as both AD carries are locked in, but the Rakan has made his way all the way through the bans so far, and this is something that On is very, very comfortable on. It was something he kind of almost defaulted to a lot in the LPL regular season, and it's kind of what has to be feared, getting that extra little bit of engage, but we'll have to wait and see. The Nautilus does get banned away, so we will not be seeing that in the bot lane or the mid lane in this matchup.
I think that Thresh pick is looking juicy right now for Golden Guardians, but I think you're right. The Rakan immediate answer seems to be what BLG will be looking for. The question is, what will that final... Oh, they're actually going to look to remove the Thresh themselves. So the Thresh pick seemed fairly obvious for Golden Guardians, given their bans. So what direction will they go? Will they look to lock in the Rakan themselves? Do they want something like the Lulu to offer a little bit more support for that Jinx instead?
See what they want to go for. They're taking their time with this one here. They will get counter into top if they so choose. There's only a couple of top lane bans, really, so you don't want to be picking up too early. The Renata looks like it's going to be the lock-in here, so good engagement. It's kind of a secondary. You don't really want to be starting off with the hostile takeover. Can do a lot for the Jinx, but again, it's kind of very situational when you're kind of setting those whole big team fights up.
Well, I think the idea is to provide a little bit more peel, a little bit more follow-up engage if the Lissandra decides to go in, but now I think that GG really need that frontline engage, something like an Ornn, a Malphite, a Scion, just something that can really start these fights off, but there's no reason not to lock in that Rakan for BLG. You talked about it, you talked about how for Ornn this is one of his go-to comfortable champions, and it's just such a great follow-up engage when paired up with divers like the Ahri and the Vi.
Let's see how BLG want to try and bring this comp together. Like you mentioned, they could go with a carry top, and they are thinking about it. Bin didn't look exceptional, if I'm being totally honest, on the Renekton yesterday. Did look fantastic on the Cassante, but we'll see which way they want to go for at the end of their kind of thing. They will be picking this blind, and the Gnar is always just a very, very kind of safe pick in a lot of different circumstances, especially when you know, as you mentioned, Golden Guardians are going to probably be going for a tank. They need some kind of front line.
Certainly do. The Gnar does make a lot of sense. I think that it just kind of fits the comp very comfortably, does give you some potential dive through on the top side of the map. Some cheeky hovers coming out from Huhi.
It's been a while since I've seen a teemo over and an actual crowd reaction to it.
What will that final lock-in be for Golden Guardians? The boo. Hey, don't hate on the rock, man. Malphite makes a lot of sense here. I think it's a very solid front line, and I think that it is great threat onto the Aphelios. I remember back in Europe, it was Bwipo that brought this out as a very potent answer into the Aphelios when Jinx Aphelios was so prevalent in the meta. You have so much threat. It's a relatively safe laner. Early game, though, can heavily be bullied. I'm very interested to see if BLG go back to their old ways of just looking to attack that top lane. Yesterday, we saw them attacking bot lane a lot, but I think this could be a great opportunity for them to really shut that top side down in their favor.
Absolutely agree, and I think with the Gnar as well, you have so many kind of options there. The engage is there, the bullying, as you mentioned as well, but also, you know, the Vi and Ahri, even in the mid lane on its own, is so potent at just setting up that single target CC. You get a flash charm in, you hit that into a Vi Q, you can just burst somebody down. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Golden Guardians kind of survive and where BLG kind of want to throw their resources. But the teams are locked. The coaches have said themselves a GG to each other, and we're going to be jumping into this first game. And again, I think a lot of people, I know from my side of things in the LPL, we're a little bit worried about this one here. Golden Guardians is not looking as easy maybe as a couple of LPL fans were hoping.
Yeah, I think that given that we've had such dominant 2-0 performances from everyone, apart from you two, I
they got it in game two.
Expectations are high for both these teams, and a lot of people are excited to see what they can bring to the table. Best of 3 between BLG and Golden Guardians. It's going to be a good one. Let's go on to the Rift.
Here we are. It is only game 1. New format, of course. This is the winner's bracket. Win this best of 3 and you qualify to get the Gyos.
30 seconds until
Oh, it's good for my soul. I only get those over like a Zoom call as we do it from our houses, but
So
feels good.
The first thing I'll note is Licorice is being collapsed on right now, and he does not have information. You can see Rakan. I believe it was the Rakan, yeah. Rakan dropped that ward in the top bush and is now going to look to recall, so nothing too dangerous. GG could consider a delayed invade to the bot side of the map, but for now I think that they're just setting up that line of scrimmage. You can see runes across the board. Nothing too crazy coming out from either side. The comment on the Malphite does make a lot of sense when you are going into that range matchup. Usually take a couple more points in your queue to be able to trade. But the first thing I want to note is the moment we got into game, Elk pinged the summoner spells. He was like, hey, Stixxay is running Ghost, right? Like, you can already see that coming into this game, the first thing that BLG is thinking of is what can we do on the bot side of the map. Yesterday, we saw Jun invest a lot of time working with Yagao, getting that mid-fire and looking for the roam. The delayed invade here from River.
I mean, it's just River, but I don't think BLG know that just yet. They should be well aware of it for the moment, but that's ballsy from River, to say the least, to going in with very little support if anyone was to collapse on him.
Huhi now has strong position in the lane, at the very least. Will be able to get a decent trade, and this will guarantee priority in the bot side of the map. And this is something that's really important when playing with a Kindred, priority. Obviously, what you want to be able to do is move into the enemy jungle, be able to threaten those steals, try and mitigate and trade against the Vi as much as you can in the early game to just make her life as difficult as possible. which means that you need that push. They have push in the bot lane for the time being. They have push in the mid lane for the time being. The double range matchup, along with the fact that Ahri doesn't have the strongest wave clear at level 1, means that there are some options, but for now, River will path up towards the top side of the map. Vi is looking to match in the same vein, and it's scary for a Vi. One of the struggles in this matchup is if you miss your Q.
Yeah, you're up a creek without a paddle.
Yeah, it's not good. Of course, the immediate burst, the immediate single target lockdown, very powerful for a Vi, but Kindred can do so much in these later fights thanks to her ultimate to mitigate some of that threat. Now they're looking for a gank mid.
They are looking for a gank mid. The charm is good into the Q, but a good Ring of Frost from Gory means that he only loses his flash, and Yagao used his as well.
Early investment of the flash from Yagao to guarantee that charm landing. Unfortunately for BLG, they didn't quite have the damage to secure that kill. Good route from the W from Gory to then create a bit of space. He does, of course, have the TP, which he will utilize very early on to get back into the laning phase, but already a bit of presence being shown from Jun in the early game. And again, this is very reminiscent of what we saw from them yesterday. Help that mid, try and secure a little bit of pressure, take that flash away from the Lissandra, which then makes it easier and safer for Yagao to then start threatening a roam and looking for options on the map.
Rivers found himself at this top side and maybe trying to burn down Bin, who knows he's in no man's land. He does get a good hop, though, right onto Licorice's head. And now he's kind of just saying, which way am I going to go? He's kind of hoping that the Vi will come up, and they are coming in. But now it's a little bit of a turnaround. The River doesn't know that he's there, and now he realizes he's in a little bit of trouble now. They waited a couple of seconds. Can he get himself over the wall? That is the question. River trying to make sure he doesn't lose his flash. Gets himself over the wall. They cannot get the clap back. But Bin gets first blood, and now you can see with a little bit of damage, can Licorice finish off this kill? He cannot. And there's a big old Mega Gnar jumping in his face. He's got nowhere to be, nowhere to go. Double buffs on the Gnar, and there's a little emote as well. That's for IG. BLG trying to see if they can secure this. They haven't gotten it just yet, but a house to the back of the head means Bin gets 2 kills.
Oh, what a fantastic start for BLG. Bin did the ultimate play that all top laners can do, stand still and wait for your jungler to show up. He was just buying time. You could see the threat, the pincer that was coming down, and he just didn't get involved in the fight. Beautiful play from BLG, great early advantage. Now look at this River being denied this early Scuttle Crab.
Or is he? Would be hard to deny the smite, 600 damage, and that was Huhi kind of saying, look, River, we need to get you rolling, we need to get your stacks going, so I'm going to roll up and I'm going to take a hit for the bot lane.
Yeah, it's not looking great for Golden Guardians this early on. Pretty good trade for Gory in the mid lane. You can see him starting to build a bit of a CS advantage, but the problem you now have is Bin can run away with this matchup, right? Yep. You don't need to invest any more resources into Bin. You've got a flashless Malphite, you've got a full level over your top lane counterpart, and it's in the hands of Bin, right? Bin is regarded as one of the best top laners, if not the best top laner at this competition. Of course, 369 may have something to say about that later on down the line, but what a fantastic start for him, and he really has been set up for success. So we'll see what he can do with that lead now. Already has a 150 gold bounty sitting under his belt, going for the early Merc Treads to mitigate that slow that can come out from Licorice's Q. We're getting a look back at this, and you'll notice here, the awkward position, never mind, we're going to go back to live, but the awkward situation there for River was that there was no real way for them to initiate that fight. River is now looking for a play bot. I don't think he's really going to be able to find anything. It's
hard. It's so hard. You don't really, apart from a really good handshake from Huhi, you don't really have that kind of same engage that we saw for him yesterday. They will spot him out now with that the Squire's Bloom, but yesterday what made Golden Guardians so formidable, what it was Huhi coming in with the flash, you know, ultimates from the set. It was him on the Amumu hitting the bandage tosses. You don't really get that as the Renata. Yes, the Renata has her own set of, you know, kind of pros on her, but not that kind of same setup, and it really does feel like outside of the Malphite and the Lissandra kind of coming into that, if you're looking for something bot lane, you're just not going to find it.
Well, BLG, though, they have set up a really nice ward here. With the push that Yagao has just gotten and the control that they have on the bot side of the map, BLG can start to threaten a dive. Bot lane is beginning to stack up a wave. Gory needs to be careful as he walks into Fog of War. Charm.
Charmed, but I'm going to go for it. Maybe thinking of going in himself. The Glacial Path shall not be taken, and they want to continue going for this one. We are going to see a Spirit Rush used here, and that's a lot of damage onto Gory, who immediately has to go into his ultimate. Does have a good Ring of Frost, but he's got nowhere to go, and that's Yagao. Just a very easy kill, picking up in the mid lane.
Just great awareness from Yagao, using the Unsealed Spellbook. He has the Ignite available to him. Lissandra, still no flash available, at least from what I can tell, and it means that with the Charm being able to connect and good damage down, Yagao, a bit of an assistance from Jun. Well, not even actually, it's just a straight up solo kill from Yagao. and they're able to secure another kill. So BLG really dominating the early game. This will convert into a dragon in their favor. And Yagao can now look to get a very nice base off and likely pick up that lost chapter.
Again, this is just kind of so much cleaner coming in from BLG. They're not panicking. They're not really kind of giving their, any kind of crazy mistakes over like we did see. And you could pass it off as, first game jitters. There's a lot of, kind of pressure coming in. You're traveling all the way. There's a load of different kind of things you need to kind of take into consideration. But for Golden Guardians, I want to see how they're going to be able to kind of, draw this one back. You're 2,000 gold down at 7.5 minutes. It's not exactly ideal. And you need stacks on those Kindred. You need that Jinx to get gold and get items before she becomes that monster in those mid to late game team fights. And I want to see what way they're able to do it. As you can see, almost getting the stop on the recall, but not able to do it. But again, Golden Guardians, they've got to find some kind of proactivity before, otherwise I feel like this game's going to run away from them.
Of course, Golden Guardians do have some, well, they have a decent amount of late game scaling options. In the early game, our expectations were that when you have this Ahri Vi mid-jungle duo, you're going to have a lot of presence on the map. The unfortunate situation for Golden Guardians is how much they actually ended up falling behind. The fact that they've lost kills now, top, jungle, and mid, has only just further made their early game that much harder. And so right now it's about weathering the storm as much as you can, hoping to set up for these neutral fights. But as you rightly said, BLG just have so much control now over all these neutrals.
So much control, and you can see there on just kind of hovering in that mid lane while the Rift Herald is being started. Gory has got the push for the moment, so first move from the mid lane is going to be Golden Guardians, but can they make it work? That's the question. The Jinx rocket shall be blocked, so it's not even going to be able to steal it with that. So now we're looking at a kind of a straight-up fight, but it looks like Golden Guardians really want to go for this. They have got the Malphite ultimate, and they've lost Mega on BLG. They go in, they get the Grand Entrance. There's going to be a steal away, so Golden Guardians get themselves the Rift Herald, and I don't think BLG can take this fight. They just can't get the damage down. It's just too early.
River was able to get the steal away. We'll be able to pick up that objective. Yagao looking for a bit more poke damage. Licorice still holds on to the ultimate. The Jinx has now made her way up from the bot lane. But Golden Guardians, they're going to walk away with the Herald, and they'll take that.
Absolutely.
That's really going to slow down BLG a lot. When you have such great early game control, unlocking the Herald means that you can unlock top, unlock bot, basically play through where you already have an advantage and really start to snowball this game. But now, Golden Guardians have an opportunity to get a little bit of gold back for themselves, maybe funnel some more gold into the Jinx, set up 6 days to be this late game carry, and also just ultimately prevent PLG from having another 15-play game, which, you know, is generally a preferred approach for the Golden Guardians.
See, Elk didn't have to roam up, so Elk kind of already finished his call. He's 20 or so CS ahead and having a fairly decent time of it on his own, even 1v2. And again, that's the thing with the Renata. Renata's great in a team fight, in a 2v1, unless she goes for a flash handshake, not really in a position to kind of get any kind of crazy play going for him. But for now, it is just kind of a small little respite for Golden Guardians. Good steal on the Rift Herald means they're going to be able to, as you mentioned, kind of slow this game down, give resources to everyone they feel like is needed the most. Now BLG, they kind of need to make sure that the next time they go for an objective like that, they gotta dot your I's and cross your T's. You can't just let Golden Guardians just walk in like that again.
Yeah, they were really concerned about like the single target burst with the Malphite, the Sandra, the Kindred. The fact that Renata had made the way down as well. The props to Elk. He's just playing with so much confidence right now. He knows that his jungle is in the river. Speaking of river, we'll go for a bit of a trade, but I don't know if you walk away the victor in it. Oh, they're actually running away.
Yeah, they don't want this. They do not want this at all. There's a hostile takeover. It will actually help Shun run away a little bit, but I mean, that's the thing. That's why they kind of started running away, because they recognize that we probably can't take this fight. They immediately have to flash away because there was a Gravitum proc there onto Huhi. If he gets caught there, he's probably dead.
Yeah, very likely. Very squishy Renata this early in the game, really throughout the rest of the game. Renata's not the tanky champion. Malphite has made his way down. Licorice looking to try and get involved in some of the skirmishes. Dragon in about a minute's time. Gory needs to be careful face checking this river. He should have information roughly as to where both Shun and On are. Yagao though, going to face
River
check.
didn't see him just right to the last second. Yagao did get a very quick spellbook cleanse out of there. And Gory shall take the glacial path down. So very, very tentative right now. Both teams looking a bit jittery at the moment as they look for this dragon.
Second flash just kind of wasted, I feel, from Golden Guardians, walking into a space that just doesn't belong to them. BLG are playing around their control well. They constantly have a pushing bot. They have the pushing mid. GG keep trying to access this river and go for these trades, but it's so dangerous.
They're looking for a fight, though. They're going to be able to jump in. There's going to be the Lamb's Respite as you get the ultimate out from the Vi as well. Nobody's gone down just yet as they're all getting a little bit of extra healing. There's the bailout, and finally River goes down. They're looking to try and see if they can catch out Gory as well, who did have to flash over the wall, but he's got nowhere to go as he's rooted down by Elk's Gravitum. 2 more kills over to BLG and Golden Guardians. I mean, they tried, but like you said, they just had no right trying to defend that.
I feel like that Lissandra Kindred just doesn't quite match the damage of an Ari Vi does this early into the game. Trying to force that contest to try and gain space into the river so that you can contest the Drake, I feel like isn't the best way to do it. You need to leverage the fact that your Malphite is a really powerful engage tool, does have the teleport available, maybe you could use that to the bot TP, but also it was so much easier for Elk to join the fight because he's just maintained push in this bot lane 1v1. And we're going to see it here. You can see like the target that they initially tried to focus down is Gory. He gets chain CC, knocked up initially, and then River at the back. Look at how low he is already. The ultimate comes down. That gets mitigated by the shield of Vi. Then the heal comes through from the Lamb's Respite. Like, River is the one getting completely bullied in this exchange. And the fact that Elk is then able to rotate, come into the flash to secure that kill as well. Golden Guardians they didn't need to force that fight. They didn't need to contest that Drake, and they ended up getting punished for it.
Forcing another fight. They've dropped down Shelly into that mid lane, but we talked about how this is great to kind of funnel resources into someone. They haven't been able to funnel resources into anybody. It will get its charge off. That's going straight over the river. Not the worst person in the world. The hostile taker is decent as been flashed over, and he really wants to take this kill, but the bailout is there, so it's giving an extra couple of seconds. Shut down going over the river, and now the Golden Guardians have sparked into life. Get themselves 2 kills, and that was just BLG just not expecting so much stall out from the bailout.
That is a bit of a big classic. A little bit, you know, he's feeling himself, he sees the play, he sees the window, he sees an opportunity to go for a great kill, and as you rightly said, the bailout punishing him massively there. This actually gives Golden Guardians a window to contest the Drake. BLG weren't able to pick it up earlier, but Elk, level 10, very strong Gory.
They're looking onto On. They'll get him out there with the Glacial Prison as well, and Stixxay picks up a kill. He's looking to try and maybe get onto Yagao as he gets excited. Elk is still very healthy, but I don't think Elk can go for this. He's going to have to give up that Dragon, and it's Golden Guardians who get themselves finally on the board. They're still behind on gold, but they're definitely not giving up this game.
Wow. So that's 3 kills and a Dragon, back-to-back, that GG have just secured for themselves, 2 of which all went onto River on this Kindred. And the Herald being dropped in mid is just Golden Guardians. They need to get something back on the map. This Herald's about to expire. Let's just throw it out. And then Vid just gets over-aggressive. He sees an opportunity to chase onto River. He flashes in to the face of Stixxay and says, look, this is an easy kill. I can run out off the back of this. But then the bailout comes out, keeps River alive long enough. He's able to get the kill, get the reset, get the shutdown. Then Shun, trying to help his top laner, ends up getting caught in the crossfire. The good news for BLG, though, is because of how well top lane and bot lane has been going, they secured the bot tower, they secured the top tower. All 5 plates went into the back pocket of Elk. He is so far ahead in gold, largely off the back of just securing all of those plates himself.
Well, we'll see the next Rift Tower being set up here now as BLG look to try and make do with the fact that they have got the mid and top priority, but Golden Guardians are kind of feeling a bit of momentum behind them right now. They're saying, look, we don't believe you could just go for this right here, and that's exactly why, because you don't have Mega. You're waiting on this Gnar to get up to his most powerful engaged tool, and with the Rift Tower going down, it is stolen again, and they're going to go straight away. The hostile taker is decent. Shun has taken away the Eclipse onto Bin. They're looking for an engage. Bin with the ultimate of the Aphelios means everybody is turned to dust. Gory will just about get himself to safety. Never mind, Yagao's got your number. And what looks so good for Golden Guardians is disaster for them in the end.
It's a clean ace for BLG as Golden Guardians get baited into that choke point for the re-engage to be absolutely spectacular from BLG. What a wombo combo. You can see River is able to get this steal away, but the priority for Golden Guardians is getting this fight. They commit so much onto getting this initial kill onto Jun. Many ultimates committed, the Malphite ultimate, the Jinx ultimate, but this re-engage here, the On, 3-man taunt to knock up, the Gnar connects onto all 5 people if it weren't for the fact that Elk had already killed 2 thanks to the Infernum ultimate at the start, and then Yagao comes in for the cleanup. Fantastic engage from Bin and On.
Fans aren't happy. Fans aren't happy. They saw a bit too much there. And yeah, I mean, like, BLG just recognized how well they could set this one up. They didn't have the Mega yet, and the yet is the big thing there is on. Now he's kind of caught in no man's land. The Everfrost is good, and he's dead. So BLG, yes, they're still ahead, and yes, they're doing well, but if they keep giving those little kills over, Golden Guardians will get this scaling going, like you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, I mean, it's all in the Stixxay basket right now. A lot of responsibilities falling on his shoulders, but you look across the 280 carries, Infinity Edge now finished as well for Elk. He was strong before, he's even stronger now. Bin is in a prime position to carry as well, and just all across the board, BLG looking good. And I think that, like, around these neutral objectives, around the Herald specifically, BLG, they were a little bit flustered, but when it comes to the team fights, I mean, this is true for many LPL teams, but, like, they thrive in the chaos, right?
Hands diff, man. That's just what it is.
Yeah,
it's just hands diff.
You make that overstep, and I think ultimately that's what it was for Golden Guardians. They should have just taken the Herald and tried to walk away, but they committed to try and get more kills. They saw an opportunity to really snowball the game into their favor, and they end up getting punished for it. They weren't even able to get the Herald, which is the most frustrating thing for the Golden Guardians. They haven't been able to secure a tower yet, and they find themselves in a 5.5k gold deficit. Now BLG will start to move their vision into the enemy side of the map, and they'll start setting up for this dragon that's about in a minute's time. Right now they're getting some vision control around the top side, but I imagine they'll translate this vision towards bot, largely just so that Bin can push through the top wave. You can see Stixxay and Huhi trying to find a pick. Bin did not spot them.
No, they are not aware on the side of BLG.
Everyone is top.
Yeah, I was going to say, everyone's coming, but BLG think they're going for a fight here. They know that there's more people here. Now they show themselves, and they're going to say, okay, everyone calm down. We're not going to take a fight here. It's going to be a 4v3 or 4v4, as Lissandra was in the mid lane, but Golden Guardians not willing to kind of just let this one die for themselves. They're kind of seeing if they can catch somebody out, because again, we've seen it on multiple occasions, even in this game. BLG will just kind of be a bit disrespectful. They'll walk into areas they're not supposed to be in, and you've got plenty of single target CC available to you on the Golden Guardians, so it's all about being opportunistic here for Golden Guardians. They look to try and trade this one back, but you're losing the mid lane tier 2, and this is just not a great trade. Yes, you'll gain a tier 1, but you're opening up the map so much more. They might even get an inhibitor turret.
They will. I think the BLG just read the map pretty well. They knew that GG had overcommitted too many members onto the top side of the map. I think they won't bother trying to secure the Herald. The heal will be popped from Yagao, but that's not a big deal. That's just come through from the spellbook. And now they have a clear path towards the dragon as well. BLG getting so much more on the map after, again, GG just missed position on the map.
The rapid fire cannon now for Stixxay, and he's not been doing badly whatsoever, but I don't really know if you can just walk into this one here. Gory kind of leading the charge, the vanguard here for Golden Guardians as they look to try and contest this one here. Jinxult's not going to be anywhere close to it, and they know that that one's down, but do you look for the fight? TP going to be coming in, that's Bin off of a reset. They jump straight in on top of On and try and burst him down. He's not going to go down just yet, but they have the hostile takeover. Elk going back in to take down the Lissandra. The dragon is still good to go, and they're trying to see if they can burst this one down. Stolen! Golden Guardians get themselves a dragon, but will they get themselves a fight? Bin jumps in, trying to see if he can do anything there for the Lamb's Respite, doing so much to just delay everything here from the side of BLG. Stixxay still very healthy, and a good handshake keeps him alive, but Golden Guardians lose 2, they gain the dragon.
BLG walk away the victors of the fight once more, and you can see how difficult it is for Golden Guardians to actually execute on these fights. They commit so money onto Elk, but there's so much peel that they really don't have enough threat to really put Elk in any real danger. As you rightly said, the Baron is up and available. They have all 5 members alive, and BLG are going to commit to it. No jungler available for Golden Guardians.
No jungler, and they have no vision either, so they don't know that this is going down. They haven't even pinged it yet. Stixxay takes away the red buff, but this is just going to be a straight off spawn. Baron and BLG punishing Golden Guardians, saying you were not prepared. They're throwing out the ultimate, but it's just too little too late. I will say the smite was a bit off, but BLG get themselves the big purple warren, and that is right at 20 minutes.
Great stuff from BLG, and once again, just another great punish. When you look back at this fight, you can see Gory really commits onto the backline here. The Malphite ultimate only connects onto the Rakan. Beautiful sidestep from Elk, and then immediately the Vi ultimate committed onto Gory. Everything invested from BLG to make sure that their AD carry stays alive. The moment that he's left alive, that is when Elk starts to take over. They get that initial kill onto Gory. The objective is stolen away because the smite isn't anywhere near the dragon, but then Bin sees his opportunity. River doesn't really see a clear way of escaping, so he ends up losing his life. And BLG walk away with the kills, and they walk away with the Baron as well. And I think a lot of this is just Golden Guardians really overcommitting to these objectives. Yep. I think that you can debate, do they need to contest that second dragon of the game? Do they really need to contest the... I think that there was room for them to provide a little bit more space because multiple fights they've now forced themselves into, and BLG have been very quick to punish. So huge props to BLG, looking strong in game 1 of this series. 7k gold lead, and and they're looking like a shoe-in to walk away the victors.
Yeah, and it did feel like, it kind of felt like Golden Guardians got that one good Rift Herald fight where the first Rift Herald where they contested and they kind of went, oh wait, we can maybe do this, like all this, and then it just kind of feels like they're chasing that high, they're chasing that win that they saw from so long ago, but it's not been happening for them so far. It's a 7,000 gold lead. Your mid lane inhibitor is exposed as well. You've got Stixxay kind of putting in the work to try and get rid of some of these minions, but he's nowhere near a third item, whereas I believe we're going to be seeing a reset coming in now for the Aphelios, who should be able to pick up that LDR and get himself to 3 items. That's an Aphelios that's going to hurt.
Yes, Oshin.
Thank you.
That is a
Thank you for
correct
affirming that.
Yeah, I think that the real problem is that they don't have any, like, in an ideal world with this comp, especially when you effectively have double AD carries, you want to try and play front to back. And I feel like the Golden Guardians have never really found a way to do that, especially when BLG have so much disruption in the fights too, so much mobility, so much chaos. There are so many ways for them to access the back line. The Golden Guardians ideally want BLG to come into them, and they want to be on the objective first, but this whole game, BLG have been the ones in control of the river because of how well they've used it early prior. The way in which Jun has played through Yagao, the fact that Elk has just consistently in a 1v1 maintained that push in the bot lane. BLG have controlled the river in more ways than one. And,
very clever. Been doing this for a while?
Yeah. Now they're threatening that top tier 2. They've still got 20 seconds left on the Baron. Not sure if they'll be able to secure this objective, but if nothing else, they can keep the pressure pushed in mid as well. Remember, they did take that tier 3 earlier in the game. You think he's in danger, but he's not. He's fine. Just being a nuisance, throwing out what vision he can, and there's that top tier 2 going down. BLG getting a lot of value out of this Baron. I wouldn't be surprised to see them push this one in, look to reset, and then actually set up for the Dragon spawning in about a minute's time.
Yeah, Bin will lose Mega. For the moment, at least, should be able to kind of build it back up before this Dragon spawns and have himself in the perfect position. BLG trying to set up a bit of a trap for anybody who walks forward. They're sitting in this brush, knowing there's no vision and knowing that they can kind of control this area. You're trying to see if Stixxay, with his rockets, doing very well to control the waves around this middle inhibitor, but bot lane's kind of pushing in as well. You're seeing BLG just suffocating Golden Guardians out. There's just no real vision whatsoever available for the side of Golden Guardians to really kind of get anything going for them.
I think Golden Guardians are just praying for a mistake now from BLG. While it's all well and good to use the whole scaling argument, your Kindred is very far behind, your Jinx doesn't quite have the Infinity Edge completed, and even if that is the case, how do you deal with the fact that Yagao, 3 items himself, decided to pick up the Mejai's, has 10 stacks on it. Like, your mid lane just doesn't do anything. Gory doesn't do any damage. He's a utility bot, right? All of your damage is going to be coming out from the Kindred and from the Jinx, and the question is, do you really believe that they have the damage to melt through this BLG lineup right now? And the short answer is no. So you're really praying for BLG to mess up, BLG to not be able to close the game out quickly, but I think BLG are not going to have any problems with that. They've picked up the Dragon. River with a small win on, looking for a pick. Yeah,
gonna have to see a flash away there. And again, it's these little small mistakes. River, just give up the Raptors. You don't need to contest that, and now he doesn't have a flash. It just feels very unnecessary.
Look, clear window here for BLG to just walk up, take that mid inhibitor. They forced River into the top side. They knew they had the numbers advantage with the range that Elk had as well with the green gun. I thought that they would wait and play for the Baron, but BLG, they're not wasting any time here. And I think that it's really great that they're trying to keep GG as split up as possible. You don't want a full-on 5v5. Why give it to them? Why even give them the risk? Instead, leverage the fact that you have stronger skirmishes, 2v2s, 3v3s. You have a much greater advantage in those situations. And here we are. So they get the mid inhibitor. They look to reset. 45 seconds on the Baron. I'll go back, pick up a few more control wards, and look to secure this final objective, which should very much lead to the end of the game. So overall, BLG are looking good. It feels like that coming into today's series, I almost feel like that they have a much more serious approach. You know, they're showing Golden Guardians a lot of respect. And I think that ultimately, this game was just BLG punishing a lot of the mistakes that we saw from Golden Guardians. And I think if Golden Guardians can calm down a little bit, you know, not try and overforce, or if they do want to force draft in a way that gives you the tools to be able to force in the early game.
Oh, that was a lot of damage. That was a Q.
Yeah, it was that lot of damage you were talking about earlier.
Yeah. That's what it is.
That's
like,
what that is, yeah.
Glad we made reference to that. But I mean, like you're looking at Golden Guardian's comp, you're looking at ways to come back. It's got to be Stixxay. You only have 3 stacks on River's mark, so he's not really gotten to a point where he can actually kind of have that extra damage, have that extra range to be a relevant kind of carry. So it's all on Stixxay, who does have the Infinity Edge right now, but BLG are already on the Baron. You're nowhere near this, Golden Guardians.
Phase check coming in from Licorice, doing what he has to do here to give them some space, give them access.
They're giving it up?
Yeah, they have to. Very well played from BLG.
Close, but no cigar, much like Graves.
Very much so. BLG very cleanly, with great patience, secure the objective. Don't even risk it having... Yesterday they gave away, well, a bit of a steal. They did allow the elites to walk in, steal that one away, and they didn't want to let that one happen again. So now with the Baron, they're going to look to end the game, and Golden Guardians have to be thinking about what they can do in game 2. Unless they can find some sort of miracle here.
Oh, we'll see. Already getting super minions in that mid lane. They're going to start knocking on the Nexus doors. Kind of burning them down as well. Yagao just kind of keeping them going. And there's not really many places to go. You got to pick a poison right now, Golden Guardians. You got to figure out what you want to do here, where you want to try and put your last stand, because otherwise you're going to die a death of 1,000 cuts.
Chip damage continues from Elk. Look, Elk is level 16, so Licorice is level 14.
Yeah.
There is no one that can kill him.
No one who can stand up to him, at least.
Yeah.
You need to be killing him. You need to be killing him very, very quickly. The Shurelya's Revelry will get popped. The TP going to be coming in from the base. That's going to be the Ari joining back in as the top lane inhibitor is exposed. They will get a good charm off, and that Orb of Deception hits onto so many people. 3-man knockup, but who's going to be able to follow up? They get everything down onto Shun. They will see if Elk can just kind of survive, but Elk's just not in any threat. He's just going to be able to free fire. He flashes in because he knows no one's going to be able to take him down. I deny that, though. Bin jumps into the backside, gets himself an ultimate. Can Stixxay stay alive? Or Stixxay's already dead. Licorice is the last one back, and Bin picks up a triple kill. Licorice, the last one left standing. Baron still good for BLG, and there's going to be able to clean up the rest of this base.
A clean fight once more for BLG, even though Golden Guardians found the kill onto Elk. It was not enough, and BLG will lead the series 1-0.
Look at the last kill, just to tick it off, you know, get a little bit of extra KDA there on the last little bit of it there. Yagao picking up that last one onto Licorice, but BLG get themselves the first win. And right there, you saw Bin, that was business. There was nothing personal, kid. We just come in here to win. We're getting ourselves to bracket stage.
Yeah, a swift victory as well, sub 30 minutes. And I feel like that overall, Golden Guardians, they tried to force a lot. You know, we talked about it, like there was that Dragon contest where they ended up losing 2 kills. There was that Herald fight where they overcommitted, they chased for more kills. I think that the composition they drafted for themselves is very difficult to execute one. It's very reliant on both your carries in terms of jungle and AD being in a position where they can get ahead and really snowball. But they lost so much control and priority in the early game that Elk was free farming, securing a bunch of plates for himself. We didn't really see River getting much done in terms of the early game. And I think two of the big things that you mentioned was we didn't see Huhi on a big playmaker, something that can actually initiate fights and start things for Golden Guardians. And I think the other thing was that when you just allow BLG to just do whatever they want in the laning phase, they're going to run away with it. And that's exactly what they did. We saw a couple blunders. We saw Bin in the mid lane. He got a little bit over-aggressive. He did hand over a kill.
Hypey, you know.
But aside from that, there are very few to really no mistakes from the side of BLG. Overall, great river control from start to finish. They never really gave Golden Guardians access to that part of the map, and it made it so much easier. They were always first on Herald, always first on Dragon, and I think that this was something that Golden Guardians really struggled to deal with. So huge props to BLG. They're going to be a difficult team to beat.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for Golden Guardians, it is definitely kind of figuring out how to kind of readjust themselves, figure out where they want to try and go for this. But we're going to send it over to Trevor and the Des to